Commander Zaxthor's mandibles clicked in what his species considered amusement as the primitive vessel appeared on his fleet's sensors. The human ship, if one could even call it that, drifted into the contested zone like a piece of cosmic debris. Its hull was pockmarked with micrometeorite impacts, its paint faded to a sickly gray-brown, and its reactor signature flickered like a dying star. "A museum piece," his tactical officer observed, her crystalline eyes gleaming with disdain. "Shall I hail them, Commander? Offer them safe passage back to their territory before we claim this system?" Zaxthor's fleet represented the pinnacle of Krevtar military engineering. 47 warships equipped with quantum shields, plasma lances, and faster-than-light capabilities that made human technology look like stone tools. They had conquered 17 systems in the past cycle alone. This rust bucket wouldn't even qualify as target practice. "Hail them," Zaxthor commanded. "Let us be magnanimous in our superiority." The viewscreen crackled to life, revealing a human male in a worn jumpsuit. His face was weathered, his hair peppered with gray, and his eyes carried the kind of weariness that came from too many years in the void. Behind him, the ship's bridge was a claustrophobic nightmare of exposed wiring, patched panels, and equipment that belonged in a scrapyard. "This is Captain Marcus Webb of the independent freighter Shiloh's Promise," the human said, his voice gravelly. "You boys seem to have wandered into the wrong neighborhood." Zaxthor's amusement deepened. "Captain Webb, I am Commander Zaxthor of the Krevtar Imperial Fleet. You are outmatched, outgunned, and obsolete. Retreat now, and we shall allow you to live. Remain, and your ship will become another footnote in our glorious expansion." Webb scratched his stubbled chin, glancing at something off-screen. "Outmatched? Maybe. Outgunned? Definitely. Obsolete?" He smiled, and there was something predatory in it. "Well, that's where you're wrong, Bug Eyes." The insult barely registered before Webb's ship lurched into motion. Not away, but directly toward the fleet's flagship. "Evasive action," Zaxthor barked, but the Shiloh's Promise moved with impossible agility for such an ancient craft. It jinked left, then right, threading through the fleet's formation like a needle through fabric. Plasma lances carved brilliant streaks across space, each one missing by mere meters. "How?" the tactical officer stammered. "Their ship shouldn't be capable of those maneuvers." Webb's voice crackled over the comm. "You know what humanity learned real quick when we got to space? Fancy doesn't mean better. This old girl's got manual override on every system. No AI to hack, no networked controls to disrupt. Just me, my crew, and 5 decades of spit duct tape and pure spite keeping her flying." The Shiloh's Promise rolled beneath the flagship, and something detached from its belly, dozens of small cylindrical objects that scattered like seeds. "Mines," someone shouted, but they weren't mines. They were cargo containers, ancient and battered, tumbling through space. The fleet's automated defense systems ignored them as non-threats, until they detonated. Not with explosions, but with clouds of metallic chaff mixed with some kind of adhesive compound. The clouds expanded rapidly, clinging to shield emitters and sensor arrays. Within seconds, half the fleet was functionally blind, their sophisticated targeting systems choking on what amounted to cosmic glitter and superglue. "Impossible!" Zaxthor roared. "No species fights like this. That's because you fight wars," Webb replied, his ship now weaving between disabled vessels like it owned the space. "We fight to survive. There's a difference." The Shiloh's Promise was a ship that had hauled ore through asteroid fields, outrun pirates with half its engines offline, and survived a reactor breach that should have vaporized everyone aboard. Its crew had learned to fix critical systems with whatever was on hand, to squeeze every last drop of thrust from failing engines, and to make weapons out of cargo when necessary. The Krevtar had learned war in academies. Humans had learned it in the desperate mathematics of staying alive one more day. Webb launched another salvo. Not weapons, but compressed oxygen tanks rigged with simple timers. They exploded among the blinded ships like improvised grenades, their concussive force knocking vessels off course, sending them colliding into each other in a cascading disaster. "All ships fall back," Zaxthor ordered, humiliation burning through his thorax. "Regroup it, not so fast." Webb's ship had somehow maneuvered behind the flagship, its ancient but still functional railgun locked on the vessel's main reactor. "Here's how this goes, Commander. You turn your fancy fleet around and you leave. The system's under human protection now." "You're bluffing," Zaxthor hissed. Your weapon can't penetrate our armor. You're right, Webb admitted. But I don't need to penetrate it. See, I've been in space long enough to know that armor means nothing. If I can send you spinning into your own ships, Newton's laws don't care how advanced you are. The silence stretched. Zaxthor's tactical display showed his fleet in disarray, systems failing, ships damaged from friendly collisions, all because of one obsolete human vessel and its insane captain. This isn't over, Zaxthor finally said. It is for today, Webb replied. Now get. The Krevtar fleet limped away, leaving the Shiloh's promise hanging in space like a scarred champion. Inside the ship, Webb allowed himself a long exhale before turning to his crew. Someone tell me we've got enough fuel to make it to the next station, he said. Barely, his engineer replied. And we burned through most of our cargo pulling that stunt. Webb nodded, looking out at the stars. Humanity didn't have the best ships or the best weapons. They didn't have quantum shields or plasma lances. What they had was 5,000 years of learning to make do, to improvise, to turn disadvantages into advantages, and to never, ever give up. Good enough, he said. It's always good enough. The Shiloh's promise turned slowly, its ancient engines firing one last time, carrying its crew toward home. Behind them, a fleet that should have won learned the hardest lesson in the galaxy. Never underestimate a species that learned to thrive on a death world. And never ever corner something that has nothing left to lose. In the end, it wasn't the newest technology that mattered. It was the rust, the repairs, the refusal to quit. The unbreakable human spirit wrapped in a hull of scrap metal and determination.